I recognize that it's been quite a long time since I have said anything about the Boys series on Amazon here on this channel. It's been, what, like 5 years since season 2 was coming out, and that was, I think, the last time I said anything about that show here. Well, since then, 2 more seasons have come out, and I have drastically changed the way that I feel about it. I'm here today to say that, in case you cared, the guy who runs the Toxic Touch Productions YouTube channel on YouTube has no further interest in anything that the Boys series has to offer. This is my formal declaration, as if you asked, that I will not be watching season 5 of The Boys, because it's kind of turned into a show that is hard to recognize and even harder to watch. You know, when it started, it was this... I don't necessarily want to compare it to the comics, just because I hated the comics pretty much from the very first time that I read it. But it started out as this shocking, yes, but also poignant and eloquently presented indictment on the entertainment industry first and the superhero genre second. And it kind of came out at this perfect time, right? It came out in 2019, which is the same year that Avengers Endgame came out, which was the culmination of everything that Marvel had been building to for 11 years. So you have this huge, like, this moment in film, this celebration, this triumph, and then later that same year you have this new show that shines a new light on superheroes and makes them more like the worst celebrity that you've ever heard of, dialed up to 11. Like, these people are like Diddy. And superheroism is less of a thing that you're called to and more of something that you do for the sake of virtue signaling or for brownie points or to look good in the public eye. Somebody like Homelander would do whatever he had to in order to be adored by as many people as he is while being a superhero. If he could get that same feeling from being a drug dealer, he would do it. If he could get it from, you know, being a rapper, he would do that. It doesn't matter. He's enforcing his will, and as a result, as a reward for that, he's adored by the general public. And then you look at a character like Starlight, and it's an uncomfortable, hard to watch deconstruction of the entertainment industry, and you know, of people like Weinstein or Louis C.K., you know, people that abuse the power that they have and take advantage of people who want to be somebody in the industry that they get to control and or manipulate. That's what made the show interesting to watch. That and the aspect of, like, watching this clean-cut, innocent guy like Huey be dragged down this path towards cynicism and being damn near irredeemable by somebody like Butcher, who is cold to the bone. You know, he puts walls up to guard himself from everybody because of what he went through with Homelander. His grudge against this one guy is putting everybody else at risk, and that's what makes the characters interesting, because they are just regular people, right? But you wonder, are they going to be able to take down these heroes? Even though they shouldn't be able to, the conviction behind somebody like Butcher keeps you interested and keeps you watching. The characters are fascinating because the same obsession that Homelander has with his image and with being loved and accepted and worshipped and adored is the exact same as Butcher's obsession with taking Homelander down. They're the same. And yes, Butcher's not the main character. Huey is, but Butcher's the most interesting one, at least for quite a while. And I will say that his negative change arc after Becca dies is the most interesting thing about the show. He's the best character in season 4, even if the rest of the show is kind of treating him like shit, and maybe he deserves that to an extent. He is kind of an asshole. But the rest of the show has mutated into something that I just can't stand. So many characters are just spinning wheels, running in circles. They're standing still. You know, they're not growing or evolving in any significant way. Homelander is just getting crazier and crazier. Crazier and crazier. Butcher is getting crazier and crazier. Huey is being abused and manipulated and put through all of this psychological trauma for no reason other than, wouldn't it be funny if Huey went to a Diddy party and was assaulted for hours? No, I actually don't think that that's funny. I don't think that's a good joke. You know, it started as like, we can also touch on like the political commentary within the show, because it's always been political, right? Eric Kripke has said that Homelander is based on a certain someone within the political sphere. I don't care about that. I'm not going to say that politics need to be left out of my television show, because I think that most art can be political as well, or can have something important to say about social issues or whatever, while not letting that get in the way of telling a good story. I think that those things can and often should go hand in hand where the writer is capable of doing that. However, it's gone in the direction of South Park, where it's not clever, it's not really worked into the story in any organic or interesting way. It's just, hey, the thing that's happening in the real life, Vought Industries is also doing that same thing. They're doing it all over Twitter. And it just feels like the most lazy, cheapest, low-hanging fruit that you could possibly go with when trying to write fiction, or trying to write a story in general. It's not interesting. It's just lazy and easy. And you would think that, you know, for a show that's trying to take down big superhero, that you would have a writing staff that tries just a little harder than that. And another thing that frustrates me is being a parody of big superhero, it's falling into the exact same pitfalls. They don't want to let The Boys end. Yes, season 5 is meant to be the final season, but there is another spin-off show on top of what we already have with Gen V about Soldier Boy and Liberty from way back in the day. Liberty is Stormfront. Stormfront is dead. I don't care about anything regarding what she did before the show takes place, because she was only relevant for one of the so far 4 seasons of the show that we have, and her entire character comes down to being a Nazi. That's really it. Pardon the interruption, it's your boy Toxic Boyo, and I wanted to take a brief moment to let you know about the Toxic Touch Productions Patreon. I'm not currently monetized on YouTube, but I still want to bring you the best content that I possibly can. I want to make those videos that you love, and I want them to be the best that they can be. But I need a little help. That's where you guys come in. If you want to support me directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/ToxicTouchProductions, or click the link in the description or the pinned comment. For even just $5 a month, you can get your name included in the credits at the end of the video, gain access to exclusive channels on the Discord, and you get specialized merch at no extra cost. It only gets better as the tiers go higher. Go check it out. Thanks for listening, and thanks for supporting my dreams. Now let's get back to the video. And liking it rough, I guess. The show has run out of things to say already, but they won't let it go because it's making so much money. And as such, we're losing track of things that really matter. Nothing really surprising has happened in the show other than just the grossout factor, which is another thing. Like, it's become a show that you have to watch by yourself, because it's like, oh man, look at this butthole, you know, or look at this guy running a damn human centipede on himself, or look at the inside of this guy's pee hole. This is like what we're doing now. Before season 4 came out, the guys behind the show, like Eric Kripke and whoever else, was like, hey, we've got something coming up this season that's even crazier than that scene from season 3. Why? What does that do for the story? Do you remember the name of the guy whose pee hole was invaded? Or the name of the guy who invaded the pee hole? Or the name of the guy who was running the human centipede on himself? Do you remember any of that at all? No, because it's not relevant. Because it's just taking time away for nothing. You know, Huey's dad was brought back into the show just to kill him. I thought he was already dead because he's like not in season 3 at all. It's just for the sake of Huey suffering as much as possible and being put in these situations that torture him. And beyond that, it's getting to a point where we have these hour-long episodes that only move the needle 5%. Homelander's the main antagonist of the series, obviously. But what happens with his character that gets him to the point where he's basically the president by the end of season 4 could have all been accomplished in 3, maybe 4 of the 8 seasons or 8 episodes that it took this season. Because so much time this season was spent just fucking around. You have this Alex Jones parody character who takes these pills so that she can lactate and feed Homelander. Great. Yes, he has a milk thing because he had a very stunted childhood. We get it. He finds comfort in drinking milk, especially straight from the source, apparently. But what does that do other than generate memes? We get it. It doesn't push the story along at all unless Firecracker dies from what she's doing, which I expected her to. I don't know, it's just... and then like... What is it? Kimiko and Frenchie, right? There is no reason to have had Frenchie have a different love interest in season 4 other than to generate fake drama between him and Kimiko, despite the fact that the last 3 seasons were building up their relationship the whole time. They should have just already been together, but it's like, no, wait, we need to fill some of this extra time with something. So we're gonna have them not be together because fucking Frenchie wants to be with some other guy. I don't care about that. We're wasting time. You know, I don't give a damn about there being a new Black Noir because the previous one got killed and the public doesn't know about it. I don't care that this new Black Noir is just some actor who can fly, but it's like, if he can fly, was he not already a soup? Doing something else? Where did he come from? What are we doing here? Like, there's plenty of opportunity for actually interesting storytelling. If you want to take the fact that we have a new Black Noir, you can make something out of it. But no. You could do something with... There could be complications with A-Train's new heart. And it may be affecting his powers or something, but no. We really need to focus on Huey and Annie having relationship problems because Huey was being assaulted by a shapeshifter for weeks while Annie was, locked up. We really need to spend time on flying pigs. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Almost every episode of the most recent season of The Boys, I was watching and I was just checked out for at least half of it because we're wasting time with stupid shit that doesn't help anything. And the parts of it that do matter could be relegated to, like, it almost feels like every, like, important event from season 4 could have been one whole episode. Maybe it would have run a little long, maybe it would have been like 90 minutes, so maybe 2 episodes with a little bit of filler in there. But what really happens in season 4 that matters? What happens in season 4 that really matters? Butcher gets new powers from his brain tumor. Okay, I guess it's not gonna kill him anymore. That's weird. Homelander becomes president. And Butcher kills Newman. Apart from that, though, most of the characters finish season 4 in the same spot that they started it. And now Homelander has this metahuman roundup regime, I guess, where he's seeking out people related to the boys because he's sick of Butcher and his allies. Cool. It took 8 hours to get there. It took 8 hours. Why? Why? Why are we wasting so much time? Like, what is, what does the Deep do this season that matters? What does the new Black Noir do this season that matters? A-Train does maybe 2 things this entire season, which is help MM, and I don't know. He might have done something else. I can't remember. That's legitimately where we are. I'm not even kidding. I watched the season as it was airing, and I already have forgotten what one of the few major characters of the entire show, one of the only characters who's been in all 4 seasons, did. Is that not insane? Is that not wild in some way? Because, like... Oh, who else was I going to mention? Oh, Sister Sage. My favorite character this season. Did you know that when you're writing fiction, intelligent, hyper-intelligent genius characters are exceptionally difficult to write? Because you have to make them seem smart without it feeling cheap. Because you can have a character say, oh, this was all part of the plan the whole time, and it just works because the character is smart. But you look at what happened in Season 4. A-Train betraying Homelander, Newman getting ripped in half by Butcher's brain tumor. All of that stuff, was all of that part of her plan? Getting fired for not figuring out who the mole was? She planned for that too? Isn't that weird? Did she also plan for Mother's Milk to get stress hives? Did she plan for Kimiko to start talking suddenly? You see how easy it is to just, no matter what happens in the story, oh, it was all part of the plan. No. You write a smart character by giving them ways out, or making them come up with ways out of situations. Her getting shot in the head and being loopy and making Newman take over that meeting, was that part of her plan? Maybe. But she doesn't communicate the plan ever to any degree. She just keeps saying, this is the part of the plan, it's part of the plan, it's part of the plan. So now, no matter what happens in the show, oh, she's just so smart she anticipated it. Huey could blow up the Earth, and I guess that's just part of her plan. That's not interesting. Smart characters figure shit out. They don't just have access to the script. That's not how you write a smart character. It's just indicative of the cheapest, laziest writing that you could possibly imagine. We're at a point where The Boys no longer even feels like it's about anything. It's just meant to make you uncomfortable with gross out shock value material that makes it to where you have to watch the show by yourself, and you can just count on the most surface level socio-political commentary that you could ever imagine, because it doesn't want to say anything deep, because it doesn't feel like it has to say anything deep. It's just, ha ha ha, being racist is bad. I know that. Why does it, like, it costs hundreds of millions of dollars a year from Amazon to communicate that message to me that I already understand. And it's just, I feel like we've lost the plot so hard. Season 3 was considered, and is still considered by many people, to be the best season that the show has seen. And I agree with that. But then the general consensus is that right after that, Season 4 is the worst season. What happened? Did getting rid of Soldier Boy, or putting him on the back burner, really change that much about the show? Or was it getting Butcher mostly out of the spotlight? Because I think that has a lot to do with it. Butcher doesn't really have too much to do this season. And just about any time he is on screen, he's being verbally abused by somebody. And does he deserve it? Sure. But there's not a lot of characterization happening because he barely gets to do anything. I don't know. It's just really weird. It's really weird, especially because Huey didn't take, or Butcher didn't take that many more doses of Temp V than Huey did. I think Huey took 3 and Butcher took maybe 5 or 6. So for Huey to come out of what he did completely unscathed, it seems, is interesting to me for sure. But and I know that things are a little different because Butcher did take proper compound V as well, and so I'm sure that that catalyzed something. But I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. The show is just so dedicated to surprising you that it forgets to tell a story sometimes, and I think that's just the most disappointing thing. It's not impressive anymore. It's not deep or thought-provoking. It just makes you cringe while you're watching. Over and over and over again. And you ask the question now, what is The Boys about? It's not as clear-cut as it once was. But that being said, that's my thoughts on The Boys, and I guess how I feel like it kind of went off the rails at a certain point. You may disagree. That's totally fine. We can talk about it in the comments if you so choose. But for now, I'm out of here.